Hello everyone, welcome back to another speed build. Today we're actually attempting another one of Lil Simsy's shell challenge builds, and I actually am going to have the speed build up before she looks at them, so fingers crossed that she looks at this one. So I can't use her for clout yet because she hasn't seen it yet, if she will at all. But I kind of just like to use shell challenges to as a way to I mean, because the odds of her seeing it are very slim. I got very lucky when she looked at mine last time. But I kind of just, in addition to maybe getting somebody to notice me, senpai. Ew, I hated that just as much as you probably did. I'm so sorry. But in addition to that, it's kind of, I like to use it kind of to branch out a little bit, and I never like to use terrain tools because even in The Sims 3, I was never one for terrain tools. They were so complicated and it makes building so hard. I mean, look at me struggling with the stairs like a dingus right now, and with it takes a long time. I cannot speak. It takes a long time to figure out how to level things so that you can actually place objects like the stairs, and putting landscaping on the slopes. Oh my god, forget about it. Forget about it. I'm a New Yorker. But yeah, that was a pain in my butt. So, but when it comes to, usually when I build houses, oh, sorry, there was a bit of a jump there because I placed a bunch of debug items because you can't use the eyedrop tool to clone debug items. So I just placed a million different things, and I did it off camera because it took me way too long to scroll through the catalog and pick things that I wanted. Lots of rocks in this build and lots of plants, and I hope it looks as nice as I think it does, because I think it adds to the realism. It covers up my bad terrain tooling and things. What was I just saying? Oh, usually when I use, usually when I build in The Sims, I like to just go off pictures, or I'm more interested in the house that I'm creating and the shape that I'm inventing. But with a pre-made shell, I can kind of focus on the land around it more, which is kind of why I like doing the shell challenges. And for the last shell challenge, it was weirder for me, so again, I focused more. I didn't really do very much landscaping on the last one at all, but with this one I was like, no, this shell is really small. It shouldn't take me that long to furnish on the inside. So you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna put it on a freaking mountain, and I mean, builds with big terrains get they get pretty thumbnails. Like my thumbnail for this is pretty killer, I'm not gonna lie. And I hope you guys liked that little relaxing waterfall and woodland noises, birds chirping in the beginning. Don't get used to that, because the only reason I did that is because this build has a water feature that has running water, and it's pretty to look at. It looks much better in live mode than it does in build mode. This is also something that took me a really long time to figure out. I've always wanted to do a build with a waterfall, and I feel like if it wasn't, I've seen pool waterfalls where it's just a bunch of the fountains all in a row. I'm gesturing with my hands as if you guys can see me. I'm too Italian for my own good. But so I've seen them all in a row. But I've never seen them cascading down a mountain before, and I think there's a reason for that, because it does look a little odd. It does look a little obvious that it's just a bunch of fountains spraying out of rocks on an uneven terrained job. But it looks a little bit better when they're all running in live mode, and it took me some finagling. I had to, it just took a hot minute. I might have even cut some of it out because there was a little bit of a jump there. Yeah, because it just took me way too long. And I ended up turning the pond into a little river to give the illusion that it goes all the way around. This is on that 30 by 40 lot. I think the Spencer Kim Lewis house was once on this lot, but I evicted them and bulldozed their house because this was the perfect lot for me to do this lot on, and I think it works. It's not too big, because I like to use I enjoy using the terrain stuff, but if the lot was too big, it would have been very daunting, and I would have had to fill it up with a lot more landscaping. So I'm glad I did 30 by 50 and 30 by 40 instead of 50 by 50, because that would have been too much, or even 40 by 40 might have been too much. I think 30 by 40 was the perfect amount of land for this build. I'm talking really fast. Am I talking really fast? Sorry. So I extended that little pond into a river to give the illusion that it was wrapping around a whole mountain and that it wasn't just that lot. So, when you download this, if you do, use your imagination. It's meant to be, a big part of a large wood. So, yeah, I'm, oh, I just talked a lot, and it's only been 5 minutes, and I'm gonna keep talking for another like 20 minutes because don't worry, this one's a lot shorter than the other one. I talked for my last speed build. I talked for like 36 minutes straight. This one's only 23 minutes, so I'm sparing y'all. You're welcome. You won't have to listen to me ramble. Um, yeah, so building on terrain, there's a reason I never do it. Do you see how they like jump up? Like that rock just like jumped up. You know how when you're trying to landscape like right next to a foundation and it always the plant always like jumps up to the level of the house instead of being underneath the foundation or like next to the foundation, it like hops up a level to be level with the house. That's kind of how putting landscaping on like higher terrain, like on mountainous terrains are in The Sims, because it wants to be flat. You can't place things on an angle, so it like kind of like just hops around a lot, and then even when you get it where you want it, it looks like it's floating. So it takes a lot of creativity to not make it look like it's floating, and I finagled a whole lot, and I did cut out a lot of the finagling because it was just dizzying to watch everything continue to jump and jump and jump and jump. But I'm very, very happy with the end result, which I didn't think I was going to be. I thought I was being very ambitious with this, because I've never done anything so ambitious, to be quite frank. I've never built a straight up mountain, even in The Sims 3. Like, I built that Phantom Manor, like the Haunted Mansion ride from Disneyland Paris. I built that in The Sims 3, which I only built the exterior, by the way. I was supposed to do the interior and then put it up for download, and I just never did that. So sorry. I don't think I'm ever going to build in The Sims 3 again, but we'll come back to that. But even with that build, it was just kind of like a house on a hill. Like, it was just kind of like sloped a little bit. Also, shout out to my Princess Leia background on my laptop with the Millennium Falcon, because you just saw it, and it was just such a split second that I can't be bothered to edit it out. So, love you, Carrie Fisher. You're my space mom forever. I'm so glad you're not here to witness the tragedies that are happening right now. You don't deserve this. Neither does anybody, but you know, she's telling Carrie Fisher wants you all to wash your hands, okay? Carrie Fisher wants you to stay home and wash your hands. Anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm building a fake fire pit. A fake fire pit. That was harder to say than it should have been. Because I don't have outdoor retreat, because I'm a broke bitch and also don't have storage on my laptop, which is another result of me being a broke bitch, because I can't afford to buy more storage. So I just lowered the terrain there a little bit, put some rocks around it, and then put some debug branches in there, because I wanted to have the look of a fire pit, and I think it's good enough. I mean, they're probably not going to sit there, but it's good enough for the looks. I put an apple tree, I think, and a lemon tree over there, even though I don't think anybody would really grow lemons in this environment, but I couldn't find any other tree plants that, you know, I wanted there. So what a lemon it is. Maybe I should have just done 2 apple trees. I don't know. I also put the little beekeeping thing down there. I don't know if you saw that, but I figured that the family that lives here can be very self-sufficient. They kind of just like live off the land a little bit. I'd love to use this house for a living off the land challenge, except I put like a ginormous flat screen TV in there, so that's not very eco-friendly. I mean, unless they have solar panels, we can pretend they have solar panels, and then it's a living off the land thing. I don't know. I'd like that. And I mean, speaking of which, I have a poll going right now for any kind of new content that you guys want to see during this time of quarantine and stuff. I've got Royal Legacy, a Star Wars thing, and then another Double Life challenge, except only in The Sims 4 instead of Sims 3. And Royal Legacy challenge is winning right now. So stay tuned for that, perhaps. I have a surprise up my sleeve for next week. A special surprise that I think some of you will be very happy about, that some of you have been demanding for a while. Not demanding, asking kindly. No one really demands anything of me on here, which is very kind of all of you. Thanks for not being unreasonable ever. I've had one unreasonable person in the comments before. Not related to content, but, well, kind of. I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, so I'm talking a mile a minute right now. So the rules of Little Simsy's Shell Challenge is basically you just can't touch the walls. You can put walls on the inside and all of that jazz, but you cannot touch her pre-existing shell. So I couldn't do the the chimney thing that you do where you build a room, but it's supposed to be the chimney, and then you put the chimney accessory inside. So I just sized up a chimney so that it looked like it was the size of what a room could have been. So that was what you just saw me do there, and I think it's effective enough. I used a lot of seasons in this build because of the craftsman style for the woodland area and the stone and those columns and the wood with the stone. It's a really good, this is definitely, if you don't have seasons, this pack is definitely going to be very, if you don't have seasons, this build is going to be very lackluster for you because a lot of it will be missing, and it really won't have the same effect. So if you don't have seasons, I'm sorry, but Seasons was the first and only expansion pack that I bought. I only have Seasons and Parenthood, so I feel like, oh, also, this build looks so pretty in the morning. It looks much better in the morning than it does in the afternoon. Oh, look at the glow, the morning glow, if you will. Shout out to Pippin, the Stephen Schwartz musical. Morning glow, morning glow. That was my male tenor. Did you like it? Guys, I'm in such a weird mood. Oh, God. I think I'm on like 12 tangents right now. Like, I don't even remember what I was talking about before I started singing Morning Glow. It was the house being pretty in the morning. Oh, seasons. You need seasons for this build. Oh, I was saying I only have Seasons and Parenthood. And Seasons, that was the first one I bought because I like, need to have Seasons in my game. And I feel like that's kind of common. Like, a lot of people only have Seasons. Maybe I'm wrong. If you're low on packs but you only have Seasons, good news. I only used Seasons, and I also used Parenthood, but it's not as essential to the vibe of the home if you don't have Parenthood. Parenthood's only on the inside, Seasons is all on the outside. Yeah, I wish I had Outdoor Retreat for this because they have like an actual like log cabin thing that would have been really nice. But I don't mind the stone and the vertical wood. I would have liked the horizontal, what is that, like Lincoln log. Oh, I loved Lincoln logs when I was a kid. I would love to recreate like Lincoln log stuff in The Sims, but I would need Outdoor Retreat for that, I think, for a log cabin type thing. And I tried to do my best to create that look without the actual log cabin thing. Those chairs from Seasons, by the way, gorgeous. Never used them before. Loved using them in this build. But yeah, so I really loved Lincoln logs when I was a child. I really liked like building houses, and well, here we are now. I really liked building houses and like playing with dolls in doll houses, which is basically just like The Sims is just grown up doll houses. And I guess if you have Outdoor Retreat, it's just grown up Lincoln logs. Because like my mom's always been a Bonanza fan, and Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman is set in the West. I've talked about that show abundantly. Please go watch it. Somebody actually commented and said that their friend watches it, and I was like, oh, love that for you. And somebody also said, they were like, oh, where do you watch it? Because I'm interested. And I was like, sis. So hit me up if you want to watch Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. I will hook you up with that good shit. So my mom's always had like this thing for like the West and like log cabins and like, Bonanza and the gunslinging cowboy culture. And I think I'm about to sneeze. Did indeed just sneeze. But as I was saying, so my mom's always been obsessed with the gunslinging cowboy, like westerns and stuff. So I kind of like grew up on that. Like I grew up with Little House on the Prairie on at all times, and Bonanza and Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman and The Rifleman, all that stuff. Then I was like obsessed with the idea of like log cabins and stuff because of it, and I like every single birthday and Christmas I would get a new Lincoln log set until I just had this like ridiculous amount of like I could build a whole village with Lincoln logs. And I used to, my brothers were obsessed with Thomas the Train, what little boy wasn't, and I was low-key obsessed too. I just like pretended that like I wasn't and that it was only my brothers, but like really I enjoyed it too. I used to lay out the tracks for them because I had the the creative builder mind, so I used to like do the layout of the tracks. I was their engineer, and then I used to build like stations like attach and bridges attached to the tracks, like using my Lincoln logs. And like I had these little army men that I would station at my Lincoln log posts with the on the train tracks, and then my doll houses that were, the dolls were the wives of the little army men, like really little doll, like little baby things. Like this, they're called Sweet Streets. Anyone remember these? I'll put a picture of them on the screen. But they were the families of my little army men, and they were involved with the trains. It was a whole collaborative effort, and it all started with the Lincoln logs. So how did we get here? Just because outdoor retreat, because I said log cabin, and I was like, Lincoln Logs, my childhood. I've been doing a lot of thinking about my childhood lately, just because I've been in my childhood home for far too long. Anyway, back to the build for like a hot second. So, this whole house is on a diagonal, which is why the stairs look like they're on a diagonal, but they're actually just straight, and the rest of the lot is on a diagonal, and it was just an enormous pain in my butt. And you can thank Little Simsy for that, because that's how she built the house, and there's no way to put stairs on a diagonal, so I couldn't make them look straight. Um, and it was very much a pain. And because of this and the way that I chose to lay out the first floor, I couldn't figure out a way to lay out the second floor, where there would be separate rooms. So it's kind of like a loft situation. We've got the master bed with nightstand and balcony area, and then we've got the kids area a little bit separate. See, I tried to figure out rooms here, and it just wasn't working. Granted, I should have put down like a divider or something. I don't know why I just thought of that. And, well, too late. It's already on the gallery. If you want, you can put a room divider, like one of those like screen things that seems very Victorian to me. But like, I guess you could use it in this context, or like even like curtains to separate. Why didn't I think of that? I kind of like rapid fire did the inside of this. Usually, it takes me longer to furnish. Like the fact that this entire speed build that I'm doing this voiceover for is only 23 minutes is kind of astonishing to me, because I always say I take forever to build. But this one didn't take that long. I did cut out a lot of the outside, but even still, even after I cut stuff out, usually my speed builds are like 30 minutes at least. But this one wasn't bad, so that's good. Maybe I'm improving, or maybe it's just because the shell was already done for me and the layout was kind of self-explanatory, at least for me, just because of the way that the whole thing was laid out. Um, hmm. There's a bathroom downstairs. I'll show it again soon, I think. But it's only 2 tiles, and because diagonal rooms are like slightly wider because of the diagonal like proportions of the Sims, you can actually fit the toilet and the sink like really squished right next to each other in one tile, one like diagonal tile, and it works. I play tested it, so like I thought that was exciting. You'll see it again when I put the colors in. But right now I'm just putting in the kids' furnishing. I don't end up keeping that rug there. I end up moving it, and I end up actually kind of like conglomerating them together underneath the parents, because I wanted a circular rug underneath the parents' bed, but I wanted it to be red, and there weren't any like, all the reds were too bright, but I wanted it to be like a rustic red. Like I wanted basically that rug underneath the parents' bed, but it wasn't fitting. So I kind of like combined them together, which you're about to see like super duper soon. You'll see what I mean. I'm sorry, there I am. I keep saying, I said that in my last speed build that I say that too much, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, look at that. I'm doing my little trick. I also have another little trick in the downstairs. I ended up putting one of those console tables on top of the fireplace, because I made kind of an entertainment center out of the fireplace and 2 bookshelves, and then I put a console table sized up, like over it and raised up. Well, actually right now it's just raised up and it's sized down. It's only over the fireplace, but when I go back down later, I size it up and it goes over the fireplace and the 2 bookshelves, so it kind of looks like a giant entertainment center with a fireplace in the middle. And I've never tried that before. And the confession, the console table kind of sticks out the side of the build a little bit in order for it to look normal inside. But like, you know, you try new things. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, and everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days, and everybody knows what I'm talking about, and everybody gets that way, you know? So, I'm just gonna leave it, and it looks good from the inside, and there are so many plants and distractions going on outside that it doesn't matter if it sticks out on the outside, right? Okay, wow, I've only got 4 minutes left, and I've actually already taken the screenshots. I usually don't do that yet. Are you guys proud of me? Oh, man. So how are you guys? I'm all right. I got all of the rest of my in-person classes are canceled. So all of my shows are canceled. Last Dance Recital and Julius Caesar, all just kaput. And I am very sad about it. But I'm trying just so hard to not be miserable about it, which is probably why I'm sounding like overly preppy and obnoxious in this video right now, because I'm just like really trying to get through it, you know? But like, again, like we're all in this together. Also, I love that tile. that's in the kitchen right now. I think that's gorgeous, and it's very, like, very perfect for this, like, you know, I almost said outdoor retreat, for this, like, you know, woodland retreat, mountain style home that I'm going for. And I think I'm about to, yeah, see, I raised up, I sized up that console table, and I think it looks really cool, because I wish we had, like, big entertainment centers in The Sims. The only way that you see them is if people, like, make them themselves, like I just did, and I thought that was, like, super innovative. Amazing, beautiful, stunning, never seen before.
Amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before.
But with everything going on, I realize I am not the only student in America this has happened to, especially not the only theater student. Most people have actually lost all of their shows and everything like that, so it just sucks. Everything just sucks. But again, I'm trying to move past it and look to the future, because like I said before, this will end. It has to, and I'm trying to think about performances that I will have in the future rather than the ones that were supposed to be in my present. And I do still have that job that I got for when I graduate. I actually don't know if I ever actually told you guys about that, but I got a job performing at that. I was telling you guys about that big theater convention that I went to, where I had to audition for a bunch of different companies from the whole country. And I got a job from it from May 25th to September 19th. It's in Colorado, which I'm from New York and went to school in Pennsylvania, so I have never been that part of the country before, but I'm very, very excited. And we'll talk more about that later, because again, I'm not sure if it's even still happening, but I'm trying to keep my hopes up about that. Look, yeah, see, small bathroom. It's functional. I tested it. It's really cool. But we only got about 2 minutes left of this speed build, so your torture is almost done. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. I'm loving all the stone accents I put in. There's one in the kitchen for a backsplash, and there's one over the fireplace, the big entertainment center I made, and I'm just putting in some finishing touches. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe if you haven't already. And I just want to remind you that my comment section is always open. My Instagram DMs are open if any of you guys need anything in these trying times. I am here for you. I understand. I feel it. We're all feeling it. And I want to be there for you guys and give you the content you guys deserve and need right now. And also emotional support, because I feel like you guys are all my friends. So, yeah, stay tuned for the screenshots coming up in about a second. This is SimmerRose. Have a great day, guys.